It was a day like any other. The sun was shining, birds were singing. I had no idea that my life was about to change forever. In a split second, everything I knew was shattered. I became the target of an assassination attempt. This is my story. It's a story of fear, chaos, and ultimately survival. But most importantly, it's a story about the resilience of the human spirit and the incredible bravery of those who protect us. This is not just my story. It's a story that has impacted countless others. Those who were there that day, those who have been touched by similar acts of violence. We are all connected by these shared experiences. I hope that by sharing my story, I can shed light on the devastating effects of violence and inspire hope in the face of adversity. I was in high spirits that day. I was scheduled to give a speech at a local park. The event was focused on bringing the community together. Little did I know, danger lurked around the corner. The park was buzzing with excitement. Families were enjoying the sunshine. Children were laughing and playing. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation for the day's events. As I stepped onto the stage, I felt a surge of adrenaline. The crowd erupted in applause. I was eager to share my message of unity and progress. It was a beautiful day. The world felt full of promise. For a moment, I allowed myself to bask in the warmth of the crowd. Their energy was contagious. I felt hopeful, optimistic, even invincible. If only I knew what lay ahead. As I began my speech, a sudden noise pierced through the air. At first, it sounded like a firecracker. But then came another, and another. The crowd gasped. People started screaming. Everything happened so fast. One minute, I was looking out at a sea of smiling faces. The next, the world was a whirlwind of noise and confusion. Instinct took over. I hit the deck, my heart pounding in my chest. Time seemed to slow down. I could hear the deafening sound of gunshots. I could see the fear in the eyes of those around me. But I couldn't process what was happening. It felt surreal, like a nightmare. I remember thinking, this can't be real. But the smell of gunpowder in the air told a different story. This was real. This was happening. I lay there, on the cold, hard ground, feeling utterly helpless. Thoughts raced through my mind. Am I going to die? What about my family? Who would do this? I couldn't see what was happening. I could only hear the commotion, the screams of the crowd, the barking of dogs, the sirens in the distance. It was a symphony of chaos. I felt a surge of adrenaline, followed by a wave of nausea. My body was in shock. My mind was struggling to comprehend the gravity of the situation. I was trapped in a nightmare. In that moment, as I lay there, waiting for what felt like eternity, I made a promise to myself. If I survived this, I would dedicate my life to making a difference. I would fight for a world without violence.
Suddenly, strong arms grabbed me, pulling me to my feet. I looked up to see the stern faces of the Secret Service. They were like angels, descending from the sky to shield me from harm. Their movements were swift and precise. They formed a protective circle around me, ushering me away from the stage. Their training was evident in every move. They were calm, collected, and in control, despite the chaos unfolding around us. As we made our way through the panicked crowd, I could hear the agents barking orders. "Make way! Get down!" Their voices were authoritative, commanding respect amidst the chaos. I felt a surge of gratitude for these brave men and women. They risked their lives to save mine. They are the unsung heroes who stand on the front lines, ready to sacrifice everything to protect others.
The park was in complete disarray. People were running in every direction, desperate to escape the gunfire. Parents were frantically searching for their children. Strangers were helping strangers, united by fear and a desire to survive. Amidst the chaos, I witnessed incredible acts of courage. A young man shielding his girlfriend with his own body. A group of teenagers forming a human chain to help people escape. These ordinary people were transformed into heroes. As I was whisked away into the safety of a waiting car, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of sadness. The day had started with such hope and promise. Now it was tainted by violence and fear. The world can change in an instant. One moment, you're surrounded by joy and laughter. The next, you're facing your own mortality. It's a sobering thought, one that I will carry with me forever.
Section 7. the long road to recovery. The days and weeks that followed the assassination attempt were a blur. I was physically unharmed, but the emotional scars ran deep. The nightmares haunted me. The loud noises sent me into a panic. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Therapy became my lifeline. Talking about the experience, processing the trauma helped me to heal. It was a long and arduous journey, but I was determined to reclaim my life. I learned that healing is not linear. There were good days and bad days. Days when I felt strong and resilient, and days when I felt overwhelmed by fear and anxiety. But I kept going one step at a time. The support of my loved ones was invaluable. They provided a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, and unwavering encouragement. They reminded me that I was not alone, that together we could overcome anything. Section 8. Gratitude and support. In the aftermath of the attack, I was overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support. Letters, cards, and messages from people all over the world flooded in, offering words of comfort and prayers. I realized that I was not alone in this experience. Countless others had endured similar tragedies. Their stories of resilience and hope inspired me to keep going. I was struck by the kindness of strangers. People who had never met me, who knew me only through my work, reached out to offer their support. It was a powerful reminder of the inherent goodness that exists in humanity. This experience taught me the importance of community. When we come together, when we support one another, we can overcome even the darkest of times. Together we are stronger. Section 9. Paying it forward. The assassination attempt was a turning point in my life. It made me realize that life is precious and that we must make the most of every moment. It also ignited a passion within me to make a difference in the world. I became an advocate for peace, speaking out against violence in all its forms. I used my platform to raise awareness about mental health issues, breaking down the stigma surrounding PTSD. I started a foundation to support victims of violence and their families, providing them with resources and counseling services. I was determined to turn my pain into purpose, to use my experience to help others. I believe that everyone has the power to make a difference in the world. No act of kindness is too small. By showing compassion, empathy, and understanding, we can create a ripple effect of positivity.
Section 10. A message of hope. The assassination attempt was a harrowing experience, one that I would not wish on anyone, but it also taught me invaluable lessons about resilience, courage, and the power of the human spirit. Even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. Hope for a brighter future. Hope for a world without violence. Hope for a day when we can all live together in peace and harmony. I believe that together, we can create that world. It starts with each and every one of us. By choosing love over hate, compassion over indifference, and forgiveness over anger, we can make a difference. Thank you for listening to my story. May it serve as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can overcome. Let us all strive to create a world where such acts of violence are a thing of the past. A world where peace reigns supreme.